Before the courtroom drama that would captivate the nation and spark debates about privacy and celebrity, there was the wrestling ring, a world of spectacle, athleticism, and larger-than-life personalities. Hulk Hogan, born Terry Bollea, was more than just a wrestler. He was a cultural phenomenon who redefined what it meant to be a superstar. In the 1980s and 90s, he transformed professional wrestling from a niche sport into a global entertainment empire, drawing millions of fans from all walks of life. With his signature yellow mustache, bandana, and booming catchphrases, Hogan became a hero to millions and a household name, inspiring kids and adults alike. Hogan's public image was carefully crafted. He was the ultimate American hero, both in and out of the ring, embodying values like strength, loyalty, and perseverance. He appeared everywhere: movies, TV shows, commercials, even on lunchboxes and action figures, becoming a pop culture icon whose influence stretched far beyond wrestling. The line between Hulk Hogan the character and Terry Bollea the man began to blur, as his public persona overshadowed his private life. But as the years passed and his wrestling career slowed, his personal life became increasingly complicated. Public divorce, family struggles, scandals, and controversy chipped away at his once wholesome image. The distinction between Hulk Hogan and Terry Bollea became central to his story, raising questions about identity, fame, and the cost of living in the spotlight. By 2016, Hogan was no longer just a retired wrestler. He was an American icon facing the consequences of a life lived in public, and the world was watching. He was about to argue in court that even the most famous people deserve privacy, no matter how public their persona may be. The world knew Hulk Hogan, the champion, but the lawsuit would reveal Terry Bollea, a man deeply wounded by unwanted exposure, fighting for dignity and respect. His story set the stage for a monumental clash over privacy, press freedom, and the rules of media in the digital age, a battle that would have lasting implications for celebrities and ordinary people alike. The legal firestorm began not in a courtroom, but in the shadows of a private life suddenly exposed. It all started with a private moment, one never intended for public eyes, behind a closed door where trust was assumed. In 2007, during a turbulent period in his personal life, wrestling icon Hulk Hogan had a sexual encounter with Heather Cole, the wife of his then best friend, radio personality Bubba the Love Sponge. Unbeknownst to Hogan, a hidden camera captured everything. He later claimed he had no idea he was being secretly recorded, a betrayal that would haunt him for years. For years, the tape remained in the shadows, a secret known only to a few, until 2012, when Gawker Media, notorious for its aggressive and often controversial journalism, got hold of it. Gawker published a story featuring a 1-minute 41-second clip from the tape, along with an explicit written description, igniting a media frenzy. Overnight, a deeply personal act was broadcast to the world, stripped of all privacy and context. For Gawker, it was a sensational scoop that drew millions of clicks. For Hogan, it was a devastating and humiliating violation of his most basic rights. The internet's reach made the damage instant and global, as the story spread across continents in seconds, leaving Hogan powerless to contain it. The story went viral, and almost overnight, Hogan's name became synonymous with scandal, overshadowing his decades-long career. The publication set the stage for a high-stakes legal battle, pitting the right to privacy against the freedom of the press in a case that would capture national attention. It forced the courts to confront the boundaries of modern journalism and to ask how far the media can go in pursuit of a story. The central question emerged: was this truly newsworthy, or was it simply exploitation for profit and attention? The answer would not only decide Hogan's fate, but would have massive consequences for privacy, journalism, and the internet for years to come. Hogan responded swiftly. He sued Gawker for $100 million. His argument? This was a blatant invasion of privacy, not a news story. Hogan's lawyers drew a line between the public Hulk Hogan and the private Terry Bollea. The sexual encounter, they argued, was a private matter, not a publicity stunt. He insisted he didn't know he was being filmed, making the recording itself a violation. Publishing it, they said, was a second, even greater violation. Hogan described the humiliation and pain it caused him and his family. His case was about more than money. It was about justice and setting boundaries for the media. The lawsuit asked, where does the public's right to know end and a person's right to privacy begin? Hogan wanted to reclaim his privacy and send a message. Even celebrities have limits. The trial would test that principle. Gawker fought back, invoking the First Amendment. Their defense publishing the tape was protected speech about a public figure. They argued Hogan had made his private life public through interviews and reality TV. Because he'd shared so much, they claimed, his expectation of privacy was lower. Gawker's founder, Nick Denton, defended the decision as honest, unfiltered journalism. They saw suppressing the story as censorship. The case became a classic showdown, privacy versus press freedom. Gawker warned that a verdict against them would chill journalism everywhere. They argued the story was newsworthy, even if distasteful. The jury would have to decide, was this journalism or a violation? The stakes for media law were enormous. In March 2016, the trial became a public spectacle, streamed live for all to see. Every detail, testimony, legal argument, and emotion was broadcast in real time. The trial itself became a new kind of reality show, with Hogan in a vulnerable role. Sensational details emerged, including explicit discussions and personal questions. Hogan's lawyers painted him as a victim, Gawker's team as champions of free speech. The trial was a debate about modern celebrity and media responsibility. The public followed every twist, turning the case into a cultural event. Social media buzzed with commentary, making the trial a forum for bigger issues. The jury faced immense pressure as they weighed privacy against press freedom. The outcome would set a precedent for years to come. After 3 weeks, the jury faced a stark choice: privacy or press freedom. Their decision was swift and shocking. They sided with Hogan. The jury found Gawker's publication was not newsworthy and was a profound invasion of privacy. They awarded Hogan $115 million in compensatory damages, then added $25 million in punitive damages. The total, $140 million, a devastating blow to Gawker. The verdict sent a clear message: even in the digital age, privacy matters. Publishing a secretly recorded sex tape, even of a celebrity, crossed the line. Gawker, unable to pay, filed for bankruptcy and shut down. The case was a decisive knockout. Hogan had won, and a major media outlet was gone. The verdict reverberated through the media world. It forced newsrooms everywhere to reconsider the boundaries of reporting. The rules had changed overnight. Privacy had triumphed, but at a steep cost. The verdict sent shockwaves through the media industry. For decades, news outlets relied on strong First Amendment protections. The Hogan case set a new precedent. Media could be liable for publishing private, offensive content, even if true. Newsrooms became more cautious, fearing massive lawsuits. The Gawker effect made editors think twice about publishing sensitive stories. Celebrities felt empowered to challenge coverage they disliked. The case shifted the balance of power, making the press more vulnerable to legal attacks. Still, press freedom wasn't erased. News value remained a defense. The case recalibrated the balance between privacy and the press. The legal landscape became more complex and contested. The echoes of the verdict still shape media law today. The story grew more complex after the verdict. It emerged that billionaire Peter Thiel secretly funded Hogan's lawsuit, seeking revenge for a past Gawker story. This revelation turned the case into a tale of powerful figures using the courts to settle scores. Thiel's involvement raised troubling questions about money and influence in the justice system. The case sparked debate over third-party litigation funding. Was it justice or a tool for the rich to silence critics? The trial became entangled with rising political battles over media and fake news. The Hogan verdict became a blueprint for challenging and undermining the press. Ultimately, the case symbolized the collision of privacy, power, and the future of journalism. Its impact reached far beyond one man's story. Hulk Hogan passed away in July 2025, closing the chapter on a legendary, controversial life. His death marked the end of an era, but the impact of his story continues to ripple through our culture and legal system. Hogan was more than just a wrestling icon. He became a symbol of the complex relationship between fame, privacy, and the relentless gaze of the media. His legacy is forever tied to the legal battle that redefined privacy and press freedom. The courtroom drama that unfolded around him set new precedents, forcing both the public and the press to reconsider the boundaries of personal life and public interest. The case forces us to see him as both the invincible Hulk Hogan and the vulnerable Terry Bollea. It exposed the human behind the persona, reminding us that even the most larger-than-life figures have private lives deserving of respect. In today's world of constant sharing, the questions raised by the trial are more relevant than ever. With every tweet, post, and viral video, the line between public and private grows blurrier, making the lessons of the Hogan case increasingly urgent for everyone. The Hogan case is a reminder. Even in a connected world, privacy is a right. It challenges us to think about how much of ourselves we're willing to share, and what protections we expect in return. It challenges us to consider what should remain off-limits, and who decides. The case asks difficult questions about the power of the press and the vulnerability of individuals, no matter how famous. For journalists, it's a cautionary tale about the responsibilities of a free press. The story serves as a powerful example of how journalistic choices can have lasting consequences, not just for celebrities but for society as a whole. The case continues to fuel debates about newsworthiness and ethical reporting. Editors and reporters still grapple with where to draw the line, balancing the public's right to know with the need for compassion and restraint. In the end, the Hogan trial was about more than a celebrity scandal. It became a turning point in how we think about privacy, technology, and the responsibilities that come with both. It was a battle over the rules of our digital age, between the right to know and the right to be left alone. The outcome continues to influence courtrooms, newsrooms, and online platforms around the world. Its echoes still shape our understanding of privacy, press freedom, and justice. The Hogan case endures as a landmark moment, reminding us that the struggle to balance openness and privacy is far from over.